Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is Brother Yatabia wa Allah coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. This one entitled, Don't Be Surprised If You Suffer Homelessness. Okay, in quotations, because this is a comment that Apostle Tahar made, in the past camp this past week, and I'm gonna play it. But that is very well a possibility. All right, being in this truth and not taking heed to the devil. All right, not taking heed to this beast system and fully following Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And he's gonna go into it. I got a couple precepts lined up, and Lord's will is edifying.
Yep.
Go ahead, Julie.
It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses.
The armies of the New World Order.
Yep.
So don't be surprised if you suffer homelessness.
Right.
Because you can't pay rent unless you got the chip. You can't buy food. You can't take care of your babies. There's a lot of Israelites, including GMS, that got a wife and children.
That's true.
And they're going to say, nah, we're going to have to take it. You know?
Right.
They're going to say, well, wife take it, the kids take it, I'm not going to take it. You're going to take it with your wife. There's going to be a lot of breakups, man, a lot of shakeups.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the woman gets weak. Yeah.
And you heard it. All right. Hey, there's going to be a lot of shakeups, a lot of breakups. Okay, coming down to the wire, Esau or the system that he's put in place. All right, this beast system, they're going to try and push the MOTB, which is the R to the F to the IDC hip. Okay, when you read Revelations, the 13th chapter, it specifically tells you that you will neither buy nor sell. Now, part of buying and selling is paying for rent. All right, paying for mortgage. Okay, paying for food. Okay, and so you're going to have to make that decision to where you let go of everything. All right, and some of us might suffer homelessness. That's a possibility, for the truth's sake. Okay, now the bishop was reading from 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, and I'm going to read it. Okay, and I'm going to jump around. But, you have to understand, being in this truth, and here it is coming to the end of this thing. The C-hip is one of the last few prophecies to come to pass. Now that's going to be the icing on the cake, so to speak. That's going to be the badge of servitude. If you accept what this man is pushing, if you take that C-hip, well, that means you fully want this system to continue and you turn your back away from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now, if you don't take it, well, it tells us, some of these things are going to happen. All right, we're going to lose certain things. We're going to lose comforts, okay? But ultimately, we keep that faith and that hope in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we're going to be good, okay? But it says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 37, it says, Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. All these plagues are coming to pass. And Esau coming down with great wrath, that's a plague, all right? As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. All right? Going into those contractions, they just keep coming faster and faster, more intense. All right? It says, Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And this is where we're coming to. Okay? Esau setting the narrative. Brothers just went into it. This article that came out that, Esau is basically trying to speed up his 2030 agenda, which goes hand in hand with his new world order, great reset. Okay, with that comes what? Great oppression. Okay, to fully implement their system, they're going to come down with the hammer. They're going to come down with great oppression, all right? There's going to be squeezing, okay? But it says, Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word. Make ye ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon earth. Okay, and what is a pilgrim? A pilgrim is a wanderer, okay, a stranger. All right? Well, even Yahweh Shai said he had nowhere to lay his head. And that's the mentality we have to have, especially coming down to the end of things. All right? Really letting go and detaching from any, so-called attachments that we have. Okay, if you have a house, if you have an apartment, you have cars, okay, even certain family members. All right, this is how it's gonna be. We gotta fully put Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai first in our integrity. Okay, it says, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that loose." All right, so if you have businesses, hey, get ready to lose businesses. All right, he that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. So if you're building a house, you're tidying up your apartment, you just bought some new couches, you got a brand new TV, just set up the entertainment system. Hey, all of it's going to be done away with. All of it. Just keep that in mind. All right. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather grapes. They that marry as they have shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. All right. It says, "And therefore they that labor in vain, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses and take their children captives, for in captivity and famine shall they get children." All right, but I'm going to jump down. Verse 70, it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." And the apostles were going into it in camp. All right, hey, these Gurkha troops, the martial law, Esau is going to really put the squeeze on. Okay, and it says, especially upon those who fear the Lord. Because what happens with those who fear the Lord? They're going to be following the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Meaning what? They're not going to take that sihip. Okay? Well, if you read up, verse 68, it says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." Okay, that persecution, thrown into prison. All right, but what are these things offered? Hey, the sihip, because what is that? It's a badge of servitude to this man's system, to Esau Edom as God. All right, but it says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot." Because if you take that sihip, what's going to happen? Ultimately, Revelation the 14th chapter, you have a destruction that's waiting for you. But when reads verse 70, it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." So, primarily the elect. "They shall be like madmen, sparing none," Revelation the 12th chapter, "but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." All right, and this is the point. All right, we have to expect it's a possibility to be homeless. Okay, understanding that we're going to have to give everything we have up here. Okay, and like I said, Apostle Tahar mentioned it. You got to pay rent. You got to pay mortgage. Okay, and when he implements that CHIP, the only way to pay it is going to be with that R to the F to the ID CHIP, the MOTB. Okay, so you have to be ready to give everything up. But then it says, verse 73, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold is in the fire." All right, so the real chosen, even though they go through these temptations, even though they're offered these things, offered unto idols, they're threatened, they're put into prison, they have their homes taken away, they have their food, their ability to buy and sell. Even through all that, the elect are going to stand firm. Okay, but they're going to be tried. It's going to be a trial. Revelations 2 and 10. Well, let me get since I mentioned a trial, let me get this. Revelations 3 and 10. It says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience." And what is the word of the Lord's patience? Suffering. When you go into that word patience, it means to suffer. All right? We have to suffer through all these things that are coming upon us. All right? We got to drink of that cup. It says, "But if we do so, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation." That's what it's called, the hour of temptation. When this man pushes his MOTB, it is literally called the hour of temptation because it's going to be tempting to take this thing. It says, "Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." But understand, it is a trial. Okay? It is nothing more than a trial. But we have to be ready to give everything up. All right? Revelations 2 and 10. "And even if we get put into prison," all right? It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." Fear none of those things thou shalt suffer. Because the Lord said, he doesn't give us the spirit of fear, but of hope and love, faith in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. It says, "Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried." He's gonna threaten us with our lives, threaten us with, taking our children away, threaten us with putting us in a prison. But what does it say? And you shall have tribulation 10 days, which is just a period of time. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So even if we're put in prison, if we're faithful unto death, the Lord will give us a crown of life. Okay? So no matter what comes our way, we have to be ready to give it all up. And what are we giving up? We're giving up temporary comforts here for an eternity of pleasure. Okay? Aidan. It says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Because ultimately, if you take that MOTB, you're going to suffer what's prophesied in Revelation, the 14th chapter, which is indeed that second death. Okay? But if we're faithful unto death, the Lord is going to not suffer us to be casted in that lake of fire. All right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 26. It says, as for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I require them from among thy number. So even if we're out there on our own, even if we're put into prison, even if our lives are threatened, all right, this devil can't do anything unless it's sanctioned by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? And ultimately, we're not going to perish. If we do have to suffer the lot of a martyr, hey, we understand what the scriptures say. We're going to be those first fruits with Yahushai on those chariots, waiting for the rest of the elect to come. It says, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. And these why these scriptures are here, to give us comfort. Okay, when we're threatened with our lives, when we're threatened with prison, when we're threatened with Esau taking away our houses, our goods, our family members, what does it say? Don't be sorrowful. We're not going to be sorrowful. We're not going to weep. We're going to be merry and have abundance, because ultimately the Lord is going to have it to where we're okay. All right? That faith is going to flourish in that time. It says, the heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. And again, they won't be able to do anything unless it's sanctioned. So if he's able to put you in prison, hey, that's another trial. Even if he's able to have you on the guillotine, understand that's a trial, but the Lord got you. Okay? And again, that's when scriptures have to be running through your mind. That wisdom to understand what the ultimate end goal is. All right? And that's salvation. That's the kingdom. Okay? But this is Mark 8 and 34. It says, and when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Okay? Hey, coming into this truth, we deny ourselves. We put off that old man. We put off any ambitions we had. We put off anything we got going on in the world to put the truth first. Now that's going to still transfer over into Jacob's trouble in the hour of temptation, because it's only going to intensify. All right? Esau is going to be tempting with the so-called comforts of this world. Okay? But what does it say? For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. So if you don't want to give up your house, all right? You want the ability to eat zip bugs, and you take that sea hip, ultimately you're going to lose your life. But it says, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. So ultimately, if you lose everything you got here, and even all the way up into willing to lose your life, you're going to save it. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to have a crown waiting for you. Okay? A crown. If we're but willing to give up everything. All right? And I'm going to end off on this. This is Matthew 29. And I'll start from verse 27. It says, the disciples' reward. And this is what you got to remember. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And this is a valid question that Peter was asking Yahushai. And Yahushai said unto them, verily I said unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's because you have to remember there's order. All right? And the elect are going to have that proper order. Okay? Verse 29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. All right, and that's the point. We have to understand and remember this. Hey, even though we might suffer homelessness, even though we might suffer, being hungry for a time. Hey, even though we might suffer being put into prison, our children taken away from us, what did the Lord say He's going to give us if we endure? Okay? If we forsake everything and ultimately keep hold of our integrity, we're going to receive 100-fold. All right? Hey, Lord's will, this was edifying. Again, I was watching the apostles and it sparked my spirit to go into these precepts and bring out the possibility. Because, hey, that this very well may be happening. The apostle mentioned it again. He said, hey, you're going to have to pay rent. You're going to have to pay mortgage. All right? But, hey, if we give it up, what do we have? We have a crown. Okay? Lord's will, we're of that number. Again, Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, call Elohim Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect and Abba B'Paul.